what up everybody? This is Mark from Suicide Silence.
And this is Brian Fair from Shadows Fall.
This is Trevor Sternad from the Black Dahlia Murder here.
Yo, this is Gary Hall from Exodus and recently retired from Slayer, and
Hello, this is Becky Boulder from Handle Grapple and Fury.
Hey, this is Charlie with Anthrax. I just want to give a shout out to Pedal to the Metal Radio, the podcast.
The podcast to get all your rock and metal news plus reviews.
Keep it metal.
Pedal to the Metal Radio, motherfuckers!
Welcome everybody to another exciting edition of Pedal to the Metal Radio, the podcast. I'm your main man, Eddie Monster. Welcome to episode 184. That's right, 184 episodes. I want to start off, first of all, by thanking all of you for choosing this very podcast to watch or listen to. Always appreciated. And if you enjoy what you see or hear, make sure you drop us a follow. That's right, on any of the social media sites, which will be in the description below. And then make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, especially if you're watching us on YouTube for Pedal TV. That's right. And now I want to thank all the bands. There's been a crap ton of bands that have been a part of this, whether they were signed at one point, because we did signed bands before, or the unsigned bands of the week. We always want to thank them so much. So thank you all. All right. Now it's time to get into this episode, which we've got a great episode. We have a new segment that is going to be coming up, and that will be during Rock and Metal News. We also got that stuff, some news stories to go over. We got the Unsigned Band of the Week, and we've got a fucking great one this week for you guys. So make sure you tune in until the end of the show to check out the Unsigned Band of the Week. But right now, let me get into something. I always usually do a little bit of something in the beginning where I rant to you guys about something. It could be about anything. This past weekend, so I've seen a lot of concerts in my day, and sometimes I pick and choose who I want to see purposefully, right? These days, I'm trying to catch icons before they pass away ultimately, which has been happening a lot, if you haven't noticed, in the last 10 years, right? There's been a lot of icons that have come and gone. One of them, so I've seen some pretty amazing shows. I really have. And this past weekend was one of them, right? I went and saw the Nine Inch Nails at the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. It was a lot of fun. It was their Peel It Back tour. And all I can say is, first of all, wow, right? Trent put on such an amazing show with this band, with Robin Fink, Atticus Ross, Josh Freese being on drums. It was phenomenal. And then they had the, I believe they're called the Noise Boys. I could be wrong on that. If I am, sorry about that. They did some cool little segments. They had two stages. They had a little B stage. They had a main stage, and he started off the show on the B stage where he did like these different versions of some classic Nine Inch Nails tracks. And then he'd go to the main stage where they did a fucking killer set. Songs like Heresy, March of the Pigs, Mr. Self-Destruct. I mean, it was fucking awesome, right? The Hand That Feeds. I just was in awe that they sounded fucking amazing. One of the things that really kind of surprises me as well about that show was how Trent really is a master manipulator of lights during his sets, right? He has this thing with these constant flashing lights where it makes it look like things are happening. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just fucking amazing. There's one point, it looks like the shadows are coming down and they're consuming the whole entire stage. It's quite unbelievable. Let's check out a little video clip. This is actually from my time at the show. Let's take a look. so much I can legally show before YouTube gets all pissy with me. But anyways, yeah, it was a fantastic show. I had a lot of fun, and that's about it. All right, we're going to take a tiny little break. When we come back, rock and metal news, plus a new segment within rock and metal news. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, have fun, don't hurt each other, and screw politics, okay? And you'll be all right. Believe in rock and roll. That is the only religion that never lets you down.
It's time for Rock and Metal News, presented by Eddie Monster.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Rock and Metal News time. That's right. And I've got a brand new segment for all of you as promised, right? So there's been a lot of things going on, right? We had so much band drama going on between Cradle of Filth and some members. Now a group called Jesus Piece is involved in some drama. And then a classic metal band, probably a band that is sometimes often regarded as the godfathers of black metal. That's right, they're legendary. They're called Venom. Now they're fully embroiled in some band drama, and hey, I'm here to decide all of it and talk over it with you guys. Usually I do a segment called When Metal Bands Fight, but I figured why not? I'll bring it here for all of you. And as promised, When Metal Bands Fight, and on the first docket of this new program here on Pedal to the Metal Radio, the podcast, we've got Jesus Piece. Okay, now they're a legendary hardcore band, the Hardcore Heavyweights. On August 26th, the band announced that they were done. They were calling it quits because of one member, and they all went on to say that anything you see associated with this name or similar, playing our music and using our art, is not related to anything we worked on over the last 10 years. That's according to the band. But then all of a sudden, well, let's get into more of what the band said. Here's more of their statement. Jesus Piece has been dead for some time. A member quit abruptly for personal reasons, and we felt wrong continuing without him. Anything you see, like I said, associated with this name or similar, we worked on over the last 10 years. He goes, we're proud of everything we did, and it changed our lives forever. To try and continue that without us or in spite of us is a mockery of what we've done and tried to do. Thank you all for everything, Lou, John, and Dave. Well, that very same day, former vocalist Aaron Hurd was seen posting a concert flyer for a big festival on his Instagram page. And just so happens on that is a band that has a similar name to Jesus Piece, except this one is Jesus Piece, but the S is changed into a $, which is like, what's going on here? And and Aaron Hurd, released his own statement saying, yes, it's been 10 years, but those men are not friends. And they haven't been for almost the entirety of us being a band. Just because we're a band doesn't mean we are best buddies. I've got love for Lou, but that's really it. And then he cuts really deep here, and he says, throwing the birth of my son in my face during an argument, saying my son is ruining things for the band. Fuck that. We appreciate you inviting us to your son's birth, but he's got nothing to do with us. Would you want to work with people who think this way? I love the people and friends I've made through this shit, but I just won't ever work with them again. Those are some pretty harsh words for his former bandmates, who have since come out and they've said, we don't know what he's talking about. He was quitting because of family reasons, and they were okay with it. They continue on saying they've been okay with it, right? they didn't feel it'd be proper to continue Jesus Piece without him, right? And they really dig in. If you want to check out some of that, right, you can go on metalinjection.net. They've got a whole timeline, and they've got specific things. But I want to read this one. This is from the guitar player, DeStefano, and he says, "It's sad to hear you've got no love for me anymore. Despite 10 years of Jesus Piece and a couple of years of HTP," which I don't know what that is. "Can you remind me about the time we tried to replace you when you got held at the border and I drove back 3 hours to get you at 4 a.m. on no sleep? And I guess none of us have any family or loved ones we've sacrificed from being on tour either. I just have a dog. I know. I wish every band that asked us to tour with them took holidays and birthdays into consideration too. Anyone that's ever been in a full-time touring band wishes the same." What he's referring to is Aaron Hurd also claimed that the band tried to replace him on numerous occasions, especially tours with Sepultura, etc., etc., etc. It's an ugly thing, right? And it's always going to be a he said kind of deal here with Jesus Piece. And who knows if this one's ever going to get solved, just because it's probably going to get ugly before it gets better, because now you're continuing and you're going to be playing the music with this new symbol instead of whatever, and it makes it okay in your head that you're continuing on, at least for Aaron Hurd. But rest assured, I think the rest of the band is going to retaliate on this one. I mean, why wouldn't you? You know, they're going to want to get paid. Okay, you're going to make some money off of this, and you're going to be playing our songs. All right, let's get paid. And that's what's basically going to happen. I want to move on to the whole Cradle of Filth deal. Again, it's getting ugly. If you go on to their Instagram pages, you can go on to Danny Filth. He finally talks and shows a text message that was between Ashok and Des Ferrara of Devil Driver, who apparently is part of the management team that manages Cradle of Filth. And you can see a little bit of a back and forth there. And then Ashok once again responds, you know, with his side, claiming, "I just wish he'd be nicer to the other members in the band. I love those guys and would do anything for them, yada yada yada." Man, the Cradle of Filth stuff has been pretty messy, and you can check that out starting with episode 183, and then I did a couple follow-up videos on that as well. I am kind of tired of talking about Cradle of Filth and that band drama as of right now, so let's move on to Venom. So, Venom's founding members, we all know, is Jeff Mantis Dunn, Abaddon, Kronos, whatever, right? We know they haven't been in a band for a very long time, and there was a Venom, and there was a Venom Incorporated. We know all about this stuff, right? I'm pretty sure all of us are pretty familiar with this, you know. But recently, Mantis and Abaddon launched a GoFundMe, a legal battle, which has been funded by the fans, with help from the fans, I should say, to go and battle against Kronos in court, because they feel that the lawsuit centers on the idea of authorship when it comes to the iconic artwork, and they want fair compensation, because the band, the two, Abaddon and Mantis, are looking at it in this point of view. We're old. Okay, we're all in our 60s. We've seen it plenty of times. We've seen plenty of metal legends dropping like flies. So they're looking at it from the standpoint that they want something there for their kids and their grandkids and so on and so forth. And the compensation is from merch sales from the albums Welcome to Hell, Black Metal, Possessed, At War with Satan. And then on July 31st, 2025, High Court recorder Amanda Michaels ruled that Bray, otherwise known as Abaddon, was recognized as the author of the first Venom logo used on the Welcome to Hell drum riser. And that was all according to testimony that Mantis gave, Jeff Mantis done, against Conrad, which is Kronos. But then Kronos was deemed the creator and copyright owner of all the other disputed designs, like the goat head that appears in the Venom logo of the pentagram, the upside down crosses, etc. Because apparently the courts felt that the early years were very murky. And what they mean by that was there's no real, like, concrete evidence of who exactly owns what. It's all just very up in the air, and they had to make a determination at that point. Okay? Mantis, apparently during the testimony, thought that the whole band were legal owners. That's what he thought. He said, we were a band. We did all these things together. He figured they were the legal owners. But for Mantis and Abaddon, like I said, again, this is just about having a legacy for their kids and so on and so on, considering that Venom merch does fly off the shelves pretty quickly. A lot of posers, right, that want to be big-time metal fans. A lot of times you'll see them, they'll buy Venom merch because it's got the fucking goat head and a pentagram. So it's like, oh yeah, I'm fucking metal because I'm rocking Venom. But I guarantee not one of them has listened to Welcome to Hell or Black Metal or At War with Satan, etc., etc., etc. You know what I'm saying? So that is what it is. I would love to get Jeff Mantis done actually on the podcast. I'm going to be doing, soon enough, I'm going to be doing something where I'm going to have a list. I'm going to do the Cody Rhodes thing, right? Cody Rhodes, the WWE champion at the moment. When he first left WWE, he did a list of all the wrestlers he wanted to wrestle. And he went bang, 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 all through the list. I think I'm going to try to do the same thing, and I'm just going to go after all of them that I put on this list. So who knows who's going to end up on my list. But right now, that's it for when metal bands fight, right? And I really just have one piece of news to kind of talk about. And I, hate to do this kind of news, but good to pay tribute. So Bethlehem, which is a German dark metal band, recently lost their founding member and probably one of the most important songwriters for that band, in bassist Jürgen, and I hope I don't butcher this, Jürgen Bartsch, I believe is how you say his name. He passed away on August 29th, and through a statement is how it was revealed, and the band said this on Instagram: after a serious illness, perseverance, and great fighting, our beloved friend, esteemed band founder, Jürgen Bartsch, passed away on August 27th, 2025, in deep mourning and a broken heart on behalf of Bethlehem. So I, too, would like to send condolences to the family, friends, and bandmates, and anybody that was friends with Jürgen, too. I would like to send my condolences as well to all of them. It sucks. It sucks to lose somebody so young, at such a point. But it's life, right? Some of you may be wondering, what is with this picture here that clearly shows Amy Lee, Courtney LaPlante, and Poppy, right? What could this mean? Are they going on tour together? What could it all mean? Well, I'll tell you what it means, because they've all, on each other's Instagram page, have all teased a new single called End of You. It's a collab between all three of them on the same track, and on, I believe it's Amy Lee's, you can hear her singing the lyrics, End of You. But the only problem is nobody knows exactly where this is going to end up. Is this a new Evanescence single? Or is this going to end up on something, with Poppy and Courtney LaPlante, which everybody feels was a collaboration waiting to happen. So everything is up in the air at the moment. But this is pretty fucking cool. These are three iconic vocalists right now in the rock scene. Amy Lee, Courtney LaPlante, and Poppy. In other news, Mastodon, right? We all saw them at Back to the Beginning, where they played Supernaut. But if you were wondering if the band was going to record the classic track, then fear no more, because according to Daller, they are going to do it. It's just a question of when is it going to happen. But it's been confirmed. That's all we know right now. But obviously, it's going to be cool. I think every band that was on there should record a version of the tracks they did at Back to the Beginning, which is such an iconic concert. I hope they release it on DVD. That would be such a cool fucking thing, to have that whole thing. You know, it's such an iconic show. Why not? Soulfly's Chama, which so I'm Portuguese, okay? And Chama to me, excuse me, I'm almost, put me. Chama means to call, right? But according to Max Cavalera, didn't know this, right? Who is Brazilian, but he speaks Portuguese. Apparently it means fire too, okay? But it's coming off the band's newest album, which is coming out October 25th. That's the name of the album. And the single that is out right now is called Storm the Gates. It's a real battle cry against control and greed. And it just grooves, man. It's got such a bounce to it. You should definitely check it out. It's online as we speak. So again, Chama not only means call in Portuguese, okay, but it also means fire, which is what Max Cavalera still has burning inside of him to be so creative, which I'm always greatly appreciative of. I love Max Cavalera. And while we're on the subject of legendary Brazilian metal acts, why don't we move over to Max Cavalera's former band? That's right, Sepultura, who are on their retirement run. Would love to have Max and company come back, but right now they are releasing a 4-song EP, which features new drummer Grayson Necrutman, I believe is how you say his name. So apparently, when they were recording this, there was absolutely no rush. The band took their time recording these songs. They weren't in a huge rush to have it released, which I believe led them to be pretty creative with the song. I look with the 4 songs, which yet have any titles, by the way, right? That's how much time they're taking. But it should be released sometime in 2026, and the band is hoping, right, despite Max publicly saying that the only reunion he cares about is the reunion with his brother Igor, Andreas is still kind of banking on the idea of every former member of Sepultura ever will show up to the very last show that the band is planning to have sometime in 2026 in Sao Paulo, Brazil, which is where the band obviously came up. And I think it would be cool. I think it would be cool to have everybody Sepultura close that chapter. But I also understand where Max is coming from. It was a big decision he had to make earlier on in his career. You know what I mean? And I think that's probably kind of where a lot of that, I don't really want to do that, kind of stems from. But whatever, I hope at least something happens, because I think the fans deserve it, especially Sepultura fans. They deserve the real Sepultura. So we'll see. Anyways, I want to say congratulations to the Deftones. You can check out my 5 minutes or less review of their newest album, which is called Private Music. It was released last week, or the week before, I should say. But anyways, the point of this is that this album right here, Private Music, as you can see, debuted at number 5 on the Billboard Top 200 charts because it sold 87,000 units, I believe is what they're saying. But what is cool is that out of that 87,000, much like what I have, right, 66,000 is physical media, which is fucking awesome. I love physical media. Fuck digital downloads. Fuck all of that. That's what I say, right? But I get it. Bands don't make money off of that shit. But it'd be nice for them to be able to recoup what they owe record companies. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, so yeah, that's a huge, huge thing. It surpassed the album Ohms, but the only album it still cannot best is White Pony, which sold 178,000 units in its first week, debuting at number 3 at its time on the Billboard Top 200 charts. So, hey, pretty good run for Private Music for a well-deserved band. That's right, they deserve this. I love the Deftones. They're probably one of the best out of that whole new metal scene anyways. In other news, apparently Bam Margera, right, the always controversial Bam Margera, right? What could Bam possibly be up to these days, right? Well, apparently Bam and Brent Hines were apparently working on music before Brent ultimately died, right? Apparently the band's name is Amore Ad Lunam, and according to Bam, he was recording vocals while Brent was recording guitars. So who knows if we'll ever see, the tracks, if the tracks will ever see the light of day, I should say, because Bam didn't really talk about it. He just had to drop how they became friends. I believe it was around the time that Ryan Dunn passed away. He says, according to him, he looked at Brent and just said, "You look a lot like Ryan Dunn. Can we be best friends?" And Brent was like, "Yes." And there you go. It was a match made in heaven. Anyways, Igor is dropping their new album, Amen, on September 19th via Metal Blade Records, and the Avant-Garde Metal Masters have released a behind-the-scenes clip online that you can check out showing their recording process. This is an album that is very, very much anticipated of 2025. I'm reading it everywhere. A lot of different metal publications are looking forward to this record. So September 19th, I'm also looking forward to the release of this album. Hopefully we'll do a 5 minutes or less on it. We'll see. But for right now, that is all for rock and metal news, because now it is time for the Unsigned Band of the Week, and we've got a good one for you guys. I recently just did a video called Behind the Quiet Theater, where I reviewed this band's performance, gave some behind the scenes good stuff for you guys all to hear. So make sure you go check that out, and then make sure you check out their episode of Concerts in the Quiet Theater, because within that video is a link to the other video, because Southern New England's finest metalcore act, From Ashes Reborn, is here. They are this week's Unsigned Band of the Week, which I'm so happy. I love these guys so much. Wanted to have them up here. Special news. The band has a show coming up on Sunday, September 21st at the Alchemy in Providence. They're going to be opening up for the band Tala, who are having their own special release show for Primeval. So make sure you go and you check out that show. It's going to be fucking awesome. So without further ado, the song that we're playing for you guys is one that I love. They performed it at the Concerts in a Quiet Theater. This is going to be the audio-only version of that with, just a graphic. Because if you want to watch the actual visual performance of it, then go and watch the Concerts in a Quiet Theater. And check out this band everywhere. They fucking deserve it. That's right. Here is From Ashes Reborn on Pedal to the Metal Radio, the podcast. This is their cover of Sepultura's Territory. I'll see you all fucking next time.
You guys like Sepultura? Give it up for fucking Sam Murray on vocals. Everybody come scream with me. Thank you. We are From Ashes Reborn.